Hi folks, back to watercolour. This is Saunders Waterford £90 knot, which is in between a rough and a smooth. Very nice paper, a bit of a wet. I just come back from the bike ride along the Wandle with a couple of friends. Ended up in the rain, so I'm just sort of warming up now. I won't be painting my impression of the Wandle. I'll just make one up as I go along. The colours: cadmium yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, burnt sienna. Right, okay, so we'll put a sky in. Now the thing I was thinking of sort of trying to describe was when you're a beginner, the things you're not always aware of, especially if you're working from a photograph, which we all do for self-taught artists. We start with photographs, but eventually you realise that you're trying to put too much in because it's in the photograph. So I gave that up by just working from my memory, just make things up as I go along. They're demonstrations after all, and as a learner you can never see enough demonstrations. But what I didn't really learn from books those days was, even though it was demonstrated, was that the important thing, or one of the important things, is, I should put a bit of light red, is that painting is largely about texture and contrast, light and dark, but texture is very important. But how do you do texture? Well, it's like you do a bank of grass. You try to put all the grasses in by, like with a rigger. I'll just get that nice and blue and a bit of that. And you try to put it in, and even if you manage to get all the grasses in, it just looks amateurish. It just doesn't look right. And you puzzle and puzzle and puzzle, and then eventually someone like me comes along who's learned the hard way too, or tried to learn the hard way, is that you can create an illusion of detail by just leaving most of it out and let the viewer put the rest of it in. It's very important that. I learned it more by doing oil painting, mainly from an artist called, can't remember his name now. Well, anyway, it was a two-colour oil painting with using lots of linseed oil, and I saw this 7 years ago. Dennis Sheehan. And I was so excited by it that I did a couple, and one I've got framed in a very, very good frame in one of my downstairs rooms. And I did some, but then I got back to, I got sidetracked into doing Venice paintings and for a gallery, and I let it go by the board. But then I saw Stuart Davis, and it refreshed my interest in that sort of painting. And it is creating an illusion of detail. It's all there, but you haven't actually put it in. You've left it out. You just suggested it, you made suggestions. And the reason that people seem to like that type of painting, impressionist painting, is that you don't know why you like them, but it's because, for example, a fence. You don't draw the whole fence, you just do bits of it. You don't draw the whole tracery in a tree. You don't show all the grass, you just show bits. And the viewer puts in the interpretation. They fall for the illusion of detail, and that's what it is. It's creating an illusion. So that's what we're going to try and do here. Now, this paper is absolutely superb. A lightweight paper. It's perfectly flat, or more or less, a little bit of bump there. But it's pretty tight. It is absolutely gorgeous. You do not need to stretch your paper. You don't need to buy expensive heavyweight papers. What you do need is a cup of tea. And I'm going to just have a little swig. It's difficult to do a sort of a graphic sky anyway with wet in wet, because the paper soaks up the paint and it spreads it, it diffuses it, and you get a lovely softness. But you have to try to remember to put it in darker than when you mix it, because the paint dries 50% lighter. It's worth bearing in mind. Now I'm talking to, I want that to dry a bit, but I'm going to I'm going to move my camera stand, because it's over my lead. Go back. Want to go that way a bit. Okay, right, I'll just dry it, so bear with me. Take your headphones off, go. Right, that's a little bit damp, but look, that's it, that's fixed now. There's still a little bit of damp in the paper, but you've got a sky that is very, very interesting. It's very lovely, and it's purely the paper that makes it so. Had a bit of experience of having done thousands of them. So the next thing is to put some landscape in, and then we'll work on the detail, or the illusion of detail, or try to do an illusion of detail. And we'll put in a bit of, well, we'll have a bit of background. We'll have, no, let's make a bit of a Norfolk type of view. So we'll have a bit of blue, bit of red. Cool. This is a blush sent to me, my friend Glenn Rappold, and a medium hake from Hawaii. So no wonder low horizon. Now Norfolk is a flat-ish area in East Anglia in the UK. Absolutely gorgeous area. It's marshland, or much of it. Apart from the coast, there is a coast which is not so flat, but there's a lot of sand dunes. Right. Let's get that straight. So this is the background. All right. So we'll create a bit of something in front of that. We can have a Norfolk Broad. And I have been told by my friend Maxine that you never see a Norfolk painting without a church. Right, okay. Give that a bit of a dry, because I want to get that level. Sorry, my head's in the way. Right, okay. I'm going to go in front of that with some nice trees and things, just backfilling there. I'll dry that off. Right, okay, I'll use my old small hake because that's broken in. Have a drop of tea. Then I'm going to put in some texture then. So we'll put in a bit of background trees, because you do get trees in Norfolk. So we'll have Payne's grey. Bit of blue, bit of green. Okay, let's get some of this in here. I think I prefer the rough paper to this one, although you have to work hard at the rough to get the paint to come off the brush. Let's get some green in there. Get some blue green. I'm not sure whether to put water in. Yeah, I haven't made my mind up yet. I'm making this up as I'm going along. I'm working from experience. I'm not working from a photograph. But you get this long, sort of wide vista in Norfolk. Go on Google and have a look at the work of Edward Seago if you haven't. He died, I think, in 1968. Wonderful Norfolk painter. Right, let's do more trees. Payne's grey and a bit of ultramarine with my greens. Leave plenty of light in your trees, if you can remember. Let's put some trunks in later on when that dries. Some over the other side. A bigger one. Very light touch with a hake. I only use hakes really as a rule. I'm waiting for that background to dry. I will dry it, I think. Okay, I'll dry that off and then I can put some heavier stuff on the background there. tea. And we get some blue trees in the back there now. So we get blue, Payne's grey, touch of green in there, but on the blue side. Okay, now let's just. Sorry, my head's in the way. It's always a problem, isn't it? Vary the size of your elements. Sort of a dark greeny blue because it's showing distance. So that's all part of the illusion. Oh, it's really difficult to keep away from the camera in my head. I used to have the camera to the right, but I think it's a bit of a compromise. It's better that you can see what I'm doing, like without the perspective of the paper interfering or being at an angle. But I can't. The camera doesn't really zoom in very close. So I'm not sort of rushing this. Okay. Right, okay. Now, I think maybe a bit of a stream or something, a bit of a broad. So, and you get lots of grasses. So burnt umber is very good for straw type grass. I don't use the burnt umber very often. So we'll just put that in. It's much easier to do in oil. Yeah, a bit of blue with that. So this was sort of the water. Just loosen a little bit and just soften. Okay, let that sort of dry a bit. Right, now we're going to do some texture. So in the foreground here, well, let's just drag that down a little bit. I might close one end of this off, or I might just leave it as a waterway, but I'm not sure. Let's get my back to the big hake. Okay, now some more solid grass in the foreground. Well, just take that on the corner there. And we'll put a bit of blue with burnt umber. Okay, that's the sort of background. We can put a little bit of green in there as well. Blue, green, blue, yellow. That's just a little merge. And then we'll go with texture over that. Some darker bits. Okay, we'll dry it off. We'll put some detail in the trees there. I might put a bush or two going up into there, just to close it off a bit. I'm going to use, I'm going to have a go using this little brush, bristle, just for texturing. So we just give a bit of a wet and some dark, warm dark. Well, that sort of works, doesn't it? Going up into that water. There's a bird there, or it will be. Oh, I got a bit of nice dark green now. Payne's grey. Okay, all I've done is create the illusion of stuff in that. So we'll let that go. Right, now we're going to, I'll just finish that background. Well, now this is where a bit of gouache comes in handy. I forgot to put the church in. So, I don't know, many of them have spires. I can't really remember. But anyway, want some nice rich grass here, just to soften it, and a bit of colour, sort of stone colour. And we'll just put that in here. It's not going to show, is it? Turn it into a church when that dries a bit. I put a red roof on there. Now just a couple of little spikes on the top. Well, let that dry. Now we're going to do a bit of work on the trees. Just a bit of dark green in here. That's all you need, just now we've still got, when that dries I'm going to change it, but I'm going to, it's bugging me, is this. Well, it's a bit bigger there. Okay, well that'll do. Right, okay, bit of texture in along there. Can show that the grass is the marsh grass there by using reflections. Right, now we want a bit of let's put a bit of the heavy stuff in there, so blue, I haven't used any burnt sienna. That's a miracle. That's too thick, too thin. looks like I've got some glass, some oil on that by now. I think I might have gone a bit wrong there. Well, it's a sort of shadow on the bank, really. Right, nearly there. I'll just dry that off. I want to just put in a bit of a filigree in the foreground. Then we go back over the church and do that. Right, rigger. Doesn't hold much water, this one now. Right, I get my little brush, if I know where I put it. Ah. I think I'll just squeeze out a bit more gouache. It's here somewhere. Right. It's getting a bit old now. I've had it for a couple of years. It's getting a little bit hard in the tube, but I don't use it very often. But I'm going to use it on this. So a bit of sienna. So I get it vertical. And I put a bit of a blue roof on it, I think, or Payne's grey roof. Well, it's just straight up there. Well, let's just bring that down there. I'll let that dry off a bit. I need to put just a touch with this. I use this brush of just that dark bit of little finials. Alright, I'll dry that off so I can put a couple of windows in. Try that off. I was going to go up higher with that bit there. We'll have a bit of a burnt umber bit there. There's a bit of the shadow there. Now, bit of blue, bit of yellow, quite thick. Payne's grey just to darken it a little bit. I'm going to put in a bit of a tree there. Always get a bit of a yew tree by church. I think that's just a little bit dark, too dark. Okay, that'll do. I'll sign it, and as that dries I'll just put a couple of windows along there, but I'll dry it. What was I going to do? Oh yeah. Okay, put in a mount. Have a look at it. Oops. Right, let's just zoom out. There we are. Norfolk Church. Abroad. No boats, I don't want to put boats on. I'd ruin it if I did. I'm not a great one for objects, man-made objects in the landscape. I prefer the trees. It's the texture that I love and the contrast. So we've shown a lot of detail in the front, but it's not really, is it? It's just the illusion. I've just put some dabs with a cheapo brush. These are just blobs of colour, but plenty of blue in them to stretch them back, and then you've got this distance. It's like an early morning scene, isn't it? But anyway, something to be getting on with. But so it's texture, 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 contrast, 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 light against dark. And that's why I tinted that. When I painted the sky, I put some of that colour down here. It's not white. Okay, well, hope you like that one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.